Turn it up.
Within 12 hours of tearing his hamstring, Ricketson had begun his specialised treatment. In a desperate attempt to be fit for his first grand final, Ricketson enters a hyperbaric chamber twice a day, and on top of extensive physiotherapy, he'll stick rigidly to the program all week.
I was limping pretty badly Saturday night. Today I'm walking quite freely, so I expect by Wednesday or even Thursday to be jogging or even running.
Oh, yes, what a guest we have. First Turn It Up of the year. Welcome, Luke Ricketson.
What a privilege.
Yell.
Thank you for having me.
Yell. What about when you started there with that face? They would have all tried to put scars on that face. Because you started in the good old days or the bad days, the early 90s.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty rough and tumble back in those days, wasn't it, Joseph? So, made a lot of abuse. It was sort of, I was lucky enough to start out in the wing originally. Yeah. A little bit of centres, and then stupidly got in the back row towards the end of my career, so survived that.
Mate,
here to tell the story.
You see firsthand, 'cause you're involved with the Roosters still, like what life is like now for a footy player compared to how we had it. Would you change?
No. No, Fred. And there's probably things we can't talk about. But, look, I was thinking about it. I think we'd all agree, you know, when we first started playing footy through those early first grade days, it was just more about a big club, wasn't it? And it was about playing with your mates and having fun, and win, lose or draw, you'd have a beer and, you know, just enjoy yourself playing footy.
Was that always the dream, to be an NRL player?
Yes and no. I think, you know, I wasn't probably the most talented kid growing through my sort of school years, and then I got an opportunity with the Roosters, and then I thought if I could play one first grade game, it'd be good, maybe, or, you know, reserve of one first grade game, and then, got the opportunity, and then as you're in first grade, you're thinking about, could you potentially win a comp? Could you play Origin? Could you play for your country? And those dreams sometimes are out there to do.
Tick.
Yeah.
Well, it seems back in the early 90s especially, there was more characters. It sort of gets knocked out of them now with media and social media. Some of the great characters at the Chooks.
Fletch.
Other than early 90s. Before Fletch, we'll talk about him.
Yeah, I was telling a story before about Craig Salvatore when I first got to the club. Salvo's just become a life member of the Roosters, and we presented that to him about 2 weeks ago, and it was just fun spending some time with him and just talking about when, you know, those old blokes, and I remember, Fred, you telling stories too, you'd rock into training on a Thursday night and they'd sort of get the coat hanger and bring their jacket and pants, and you'd be at the pub until 4 a.m, right? And then you'd have a drink on a Friday, then you'd potentially, you know, get out there and play on Sunday, and then you do it all again. So that was just the fun part of being part of that type of club.
Well, you saw the change at the club too. Like the early 90s, we didn't have that much luck, and then I suppose Gus was the first change. He came in like 95, I think. Yep. Then Ivan, myself, Matty Singh all come in 96. Like, what was it like going through a club that sort of pretty much changed from that time, didn't it?
Yeah, I bet it was fantastic. I think, you know, being a Roosters supporter growing up, there wasn't much success, and, you know, I always tell the story that you sort of go to every Roosters event and they just replay the 1975 grand final over and over and over again. It was great footage, but like we'd sit there going, this is probably never going to change. You know, we'd like to sort of do our own thing. And then Super League did its thing, Fred, and that's obviously when we were able to get Gus and yourself and get some professionalism there. And
Nick Politis helps.
Well, Nick Politis actually got a taste for it, and that's the great thing about the club. It was kind of like their success there, and through 97, 98, 99, made the comp grand final in 2000, and then I think the club got a bit of a...
You know, you go to Coles now and you get a bag and you got to pay 5 cents.
Yeah.
Did you just have to pay for those brown paper?
Coming from you, mate.
Well,
Coming from you.
know,
Different one. I got different ones.
you got different ones. That ARL contract would have been all right for you, mate, don't worry.
Hey, off the field, you married into the Waterhouse family. Gay was my first boss when I was 16 years old. Ingrained so many traits in me with her work ethic. What's she like as a mother-in-law?
Yeah, she's good.
She's watching.
It's actually quite funny because I saw some photos of you around the stables not long ago. So, yeah. Oh, no, look, fantastic. Like, great family. I mean Gay still works harder than anyone I know today. And my wife, Kate, keeps telling her to slow down, but she just laughs and just keeps working harder. So, and that's the great thing. I mean, I've got 2 young daughters, and they look up to their grandmother, and you know, we're going to instill that same work ethic with the kids, and she's a great role model.
When you first met Gay, she wasn't too happy with the tattoo you've got on your arm.
Yeah.
How's that yarn?
That's right, Joe. I had I went away with Kate, and there was a photo with me with my arm up, and I had the Roosters 2002 tat there, and she said, "What the hell is that?" And I went, I was under the microscope very early, don't worry. And I said, "Oh, look, you know, when you win a grand final, you've got to get the tattoo."
Yeah.
She said, "Well, I've won 11 premierships." And I went, "Fair enough. We can fix that if you want."
Do you get good tips off Gay? Does she give the tips?
She's a very good tipster. Yeah, everything that she's got in wins. And so, yeah, look, it's great. I mean,
I'd love a tip on a Saturday morning. Please.
It's a great industry, and Billy knows. I mean, horse racing's synonymous with, you know, Australian culture, and you know, you think about characters in rugby league. There's a lot of characters in horse racing too. So, you know, I get along with them as well. So it's good.
Mate, the other side of your life, you got into insurance. So you've gone from footy. I'm interested to tell us about how hard that transition was into sort of coming out of footy, because a lot of players seem to struggle, but then you're now in an office. So give us the whole sort of transition, what it's like.
It is a very tough transition. I think, you know, I know a lot of people that come out from that professional sport, and I always think it's about a 5-year kind of, you've got to get it out of your system somehow, and it takes time for it just to sort of get out of football and do something different if you need to do that. And I was very fortunate to fall into the insurance broking world, and you know, I've had my own firm now for 4 years, and I actually really love it. And I think, you know, people talk about sport and business, and it's the same sort of principles. And I've got a really good team, and I enjoy running a team, and yeah, we're doing well, so it's good fun.
Freddie, if I asked you, what's it like playing with Luke Ricketson? What would you play? What would you say?
Well, I think everyone underestimated Rico for like how tough he was. He was always like a good-looking fella, and everyone saw that side of him. But mate, tough. You know, there was like a real toughness about. People talk about a toughness from the coal mines, from living in Penrith, but there's this toughness about living in the city. And Rico had it more than just about anyone I knew. He just provided this sort of steel to our team that, given he was the best-looking bloke in the team, it didn't really match the looks. But you know, there's the one thing I always knew when I was playing with Rico, and there was a few other blokes in our team like that, were just, mate, so wholehearted and so tough. And we did every day of training, like, you know, he set the standard every day at training, of just training hard, training tough, putting your body on the line, playing with injury, and then having fun.
Well, I was fortunate.
And having fun.
I'm going now.
I was fortunate to come through at the back end of your career, at the start of the 2000s, and the Roosters were the tough team. They had that steel in their footy team. What was it like in those days, those glory days of the Roosters?
Oh, look, I mean, there was one bloke that came in during that period. It was Ricky Stewart as our coach, and I was only talking to Jamal a bit about Ricky before, how hard it was for him last night. But, you know, Sticky just had that no-nonsense. I think he came to the club and said, "I've got this image of you blokes being this cafe latte set, you know, being down the beach, shirts off." So he said, I'm going to knock it out of you pretty early. And it was a pre-season where he did that pretty quickly. And we always had it in us. I mean, footballers, you know, everyone's tough and everyone plays the game hard. It's just a matter of your headspace and how you want to do it. And then we've got blokes like Adrian Morley and
Michael
Croc, and blokes just wanted to play that style of footy. So it was pretty easy to get us up every game. And then Stick doing his video sessions and wanting to bash people every weekend sort of motivate you.
Thanks for that.
Ricky made you pretty much give Nathan Fien a bit of a backhander. Tell us about that. Tell us about the lead up with what happened and why you did react like that.
Oh, yeah, look, I got suspended for a grand final in 2004.
But didn't someone pick on one of the players and no one went in?
Picked on Freddie.
And they said, if this happens again,
yeah.
Douche.
Well, I think the hard thing was, I know, the slap. It was a couple of weeks prior to that, we played in New Zealand against the Warriors, and a guy called Ned Caddick was playing for us at the time, and Owen Guttenbill came out of the line 3 deep and took out Ned and knocked him completely out. And I don't know if you remember those situations. Sometimes you just stand around and just stare. You just don't know what to do, whether to jump in and push and shove. And we lost that game, and Ricky said, like, that's just not on. You know, I wanted you to react a bit harder than that. So he said, from here on, if anyone does anything,
pull the cat's tail.
You get the whole cat. So stupidly, I reacted like that, and went into the judiciary thinking I might get off, and I got 4 weeks. So anyway, that's another one missed.
We won grand finals and lost grand finals. Give us the the balance of, you know, how good they are and what they're like to lose.
Oh, look, I think for every player in the competition to win a grand final is the ultimate, and just so happy and glad I could do that. 2000 we got there and happy to be there. 2002 was the victory. 03 against the Panthers, you know, I thought it was our year. We could have got better rub of the green that night, just couldn't get there, and I was out for 04, Fred, so it wasn't my fault. So, but anyway, but then you sort of get to the back of that, and I retired sort of pretty soon after that because it was kind of pretty exhausting time of my life going through those 2000s and being up the way we were for so long, and you know, retired at 32. I see blokes now retire at sort of late 30s, so walked away a little bit early, but hopefully that gives me longevity in life. So.
You're in New Zealand for the round one clash this year for the Roosters. Obviously, it wasn't the Roosters' day, but a lot of buzz around the team this season. How do you see their potential going forward?
Yeah, look, by the way, I loved going to Auckland. They've got a real thing happening there. The atmosphere was fantastic. Full house, really exciting team for them. Look, I think there's enough talent in the Roosters to win games this year. They were all very disappointed walking into the sheds. I suppose when you come off an off-season and let in that many amount of points is no good. So they've got enough talent, got the great coaching staff there, so they're going to be fine.
Well, Rico, thanks for coming in. Very funny.
Well
got a
done,
quick tip
Joseph.
for the slipper at all? Gay got any?
Not yet, but I'll be texting you next couple of
Text me on
Saturdays,
Saturdays,
As long
okay.
as you're not hungover, it'd be good.
Oh, well, I can't promise. Stay with us after the break, more of the Sunday Footy Show.